In 1985, a machine designed to save the lives of cancer patients began killing them instead. Not because of a manufacturing defect, not because of operator error, although that is what the manufacturer claimed at first. It happened because of 11 lines of code written by a single programmer that no one had ever fully tested. This is the story of the Therac 25. The Therac 25 was a radiation therapy machine built by a company called Atomic Energy of Canada Limited. It was designed to treat cancer patients using controlled doses of radiation, either as a focused electron beam for shallow tumors, or as a more powerful X-ray for tumors deeper in the body. It was, for its time, remarkably advanced. Earlier machines required physical, mechanical adjustments to switch between these two modes. The Therac 25 was different. It used a computer to control everything. The mode selection, the dosage, the positioning, all of it ran through software. This was meant to be the machine's greatest strength. It became its fatal flaw. The two models before it, the Therac 6 and the Therac 20, had hardware safety interlocks, physical mechanisms. If the machine tried to fire a high-powered electron beam without the correct shielding in place, a mechanical switch would simply prevent it. The hardware did not care what the software believed was happening. It only cared what was physically true. The Therac 25 removed those interlocks. The engineers reasoned that the software already controlled the hardware's positioning, so a separate physical safeguard was redundant. They trusted the code to never allow an unsafe state to occur. They were wrong. Here is what actually happened, reduced to its simplest form. If an operator selected the wrong treatment mode, then quickly corrected it using the keyboard within roughly 8 seconds, a flaw in the software could allow the system to begin treatment in an inconsistent state. The machine would believe the heavy metal shield meant to spread and weaken the electron beam was in position. It was not. The result was a beam of radiation at full power, intended for a controlled, shielded dose, fired directly and unshielded into the patient. Some victims received radiation doses estimated to be over 100 times what their treatment called for. The machine had no way of knowing this had happened. From its perspective, everything was fine. What the operator saw was a message. 2 words: Malfunction 54. Operators who had seen this message dozens of times before, almost always as a harmless glitch, learned to simply press a button and continue. There was no reason not to. As far as anyone had been told, an overdose was not physically possible. The first confirmed accidents happened in 1985 in Georgia and in Ontario. In Ontario, the patient died. Investigators at the time could not explain what had gone wrong. The machine was examined. Nothing obvious was found. It was returned to service. The accident that finally forced attention came in Texas in 1986 at a cancer treatment center. A patient named Ray Cox was undergoing treatment when the operator made the familiar quick correction to the mode setting. The machine displayed Malfunction 54 and halted. Cox said it felt like an electric shock, like fire against his side. He died months later. The manufacturer's engineers examined the machine. They could not reproduce the error. They concluded it was safe. They told the facility, in writing, that an overdose from this machine was not possible. The machine went back into service. 5 weeks later, at the same facility with the same operator, it happened again. A different patient, the same quick correction, the same Malfunction 54. This time, the intercom in the treatment room happened to be working. The operator heard the patient moaning before she even understood what was wrong. He described the sensation as fire on the side of his face. He died 3 weeks later. It was only after this second death, at the same location, that the facility's own physicist refused to accept the manufacturer's explanation. He worked directly with the operator, recreating her exact keystrokes again and again, until he triggered Malfunction 54 himself. He had done in days what the manufacturer's engineers had failed to do in months. He had proven the impossible was not only possible, it had already happened repeatedly. Even then, the fix that followed was incomplete. Months later, in Washington state, another patient was overdosed by the same machine through a second related flaw the manufacturer had not caught the first time. By the time the pattern was fully understood, there were 6 documented cases of severe radiation overdose tied to the Therac 25. Several patients died. Others were left with permanent, disabling injuries. The eventual investigation, led by engineering researcher Nancy Leveson, became one of the most studied case files in the history of software engineering. Not because the bug itself was exotic. It was a simple race condition, the kind that exists in countless systems. What made it catastrophic was everything built around it. The removed hardware safeguard, the cryptic error message, the institutional certainty that software, unlike hardware, simply did not fail this way. That certainty is the part of this story that outlives the Therac 25 itself. It is the same instinct that keeps unpatched systems running inside power plants and banks today. The belief that if a system has worked correctly 1,000 times, it will work correctly the 1,001st time. The Therac 25 did not fail because anyone was careless in the way carelessness usually looks. It failed because everyone involved trusted a system more than the evidence in front of them. And that evidence took the form of human beings in treatment rooms telling anyone who would listen that something was burning. It took 2 deaths at the same facility, weeks apart, before anyone outside that hospital was willing to question the machine instead of the people standing next to it. If you enjoy exploring questions like this, subscribe. And if there's a topic you'd like us to uncover next, leave in the comments.